Alright guys, so you're like me, you're looking on Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, whatever. You're looking for a dirt bike and you see that a lot of them look like this and a lot of them look like this. And you're kind of wondering, well, what's the difference? So one of them is a trail bike and one of them is a race bike. And today I'm going to be showing you guys the differences and the pros and cons. So let's get into it. Alright, so first off, this is a race bike and this is a trail bike. The trail bike, as you can see, it's got the black rubber boots around the forks, and the forks are right side up, whereas these ones, as you can see, they're upside down or inverted, which just means the thicker outer part is on the top and then the skinnier part that slides into the outer part is on the bottom. Another thing is that the back shock, this is on this bike, the race bike, it's got a reservoir and it's got adjustable screws, high speed and low speed to be precise. Most, if not all, trail bikes don't have the reservoir and they don't have the adjustable stuff on it. Same with the forks. The trail bikes almost always won't have a little screw on the forks like these do. Another thing, brakes. Trail bikes, as you can see, the trail bike here, it's got drum brakes. As you can see, this one has a disc brake, hydraulic disc. So the trail bikes, most of the modern ones, they'll come with all drum if it's 110cc or smaller, and if it's 125cc or bigger trail bike, then it will come with a front disc usually and a rear drum. Drums aren't bad, but they're a pain to work on, and they are definitely worse. They don't actuate as well, they come out of alignment sometimes, and they're just a pain because they're built into the hub of the rim. Discs are much better at heat dispersion, and they stop you faster, and they are way easier to tinker with. Another thing, exhausts. Trail bikes, as you can see right here, the trail bike has a kind of black looking, boxy looking exhaust, black boxy looking exhaust on it. And it's super quiet. I love it. It's really quiet, and that's great, but it's not too great for performance. This one, as you can see, is all kind of brassy and silvery, and it's, you know, less boxy here, more rounded, and it's much thicker. And this is a more performance-oriented exhaust. Much louder, but gives you more power, obviously. Next up is the engines themselves. The engines on a race bike are tuned for performance, whereas the engines on a trail bike are tuned for fuel efficiency and for longevity. These will not last nearly as long, depending on how you're riding it, and they do not get as good gas mileage. And, you know, even if you're not riding it hard and you're trying to save the mileage, these still do not get as good gas mileage. Another thing is that the transmissions. A trail bike will usually come with a 4-speed transmission if it's 125 and under, and then if it's, you know, like a 150 or bigger trail bike, you know, like a 230 or 250, those will usually come with 5 speeds. Another thing is the trail bikes are almost always air cooled. I've never seen a radiated trail bike. As you can see on the race bike, it's got the radiators on it. It's liquid cooled, and so this thing will stay a lot cooler, much easier, especially when you're just idling, sitting there doing nothing. The trail bikes will build up heat because there's no airflow. Another thing is going to be the price. Price on this bad boy, a Honda CRF 150R, which is 150 race, is around $6,000 to $8,000 depending on where you buy it. Retail price I think is $7,000 on Honda.com, or 6.3 or something like that. And then you gotta pay for shipping, and then you gotta wait a few months, you know. So most people go to a dealer, but then the dealer charges you dealer fees and all that crap, and it adds up to about $8,000, sometimes even $9,000. And the trail bikes, on the other hand, a Honda CRF 150F, they don't make it anymore, but they were around $3,000 out the door, maybe $4,000 or $5,000 out the door of a dealer, but you know, they retailed for $3,500, I think. So, you know, half the price of the race bike. Another thing is top speed and acceleration. This thing reaches a top speed of an incredible 70 miles plus on stock gearing. The 150F reaches about 55 on stock gearing, so you know, much higher top speed. And acceleration wise, this thing will accelerate much quicker than the F will. Just, you know, it's in the name, it's a race bike, you know, it's just what it's built for. It's to be expected, right? And then another big difference between race bikes and trail bikes is race bikes almost always do not come with an electric start because it adds weight, because you have to have the battery and the motor and all the stuff to do it, and so it usually weighs an extra couple pounds. And most, if not all, trail bikes do have electric starts, unless it's really old, or if it's just like a 50 or something, because those are so ridiculously easy to start without a battery that nobody really cares. And on that subject of electric start, the trail bikes usually weigh a good 10 to 30 pounds more than a race bike, just because, you know, the weight doesn't matter as much, again, because it doesn't need to go as fast. It's just, its job is to be comfortable. This guy's job is to go fast and win races. So yeah, that's another factor. And then the last big difference is seat height. Race bikes, because they want ground clearance and suspension travel, the seat will usually be higher. A trail bike, the ground clearance and suspension travel isn't that big of a deal. And so the seat height is much lower and can fit much shorter people. For instance, this is 32.8 inch seat height, and a 125 trail bike is like 28, I think. Much lower seat height. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is pretty much all the differences between trail bikes and race bikes. So yeah, the bottom line, this thing's meant to go fast, it's meant to win races, it's meant to do wheelies, it's meant to take hard landings and do big jumps, it's meant to just jump in general. The trail bike is meant to go smoothly over you know, little trails. It's meant to make you feel good while you're riding it. It's meant to be smooth, and it's meant to make a good time. They're both meant to make good times, but yeah, the trail bike is definitely the better option if you're just going on trails and you don't care how fast you're going, because it's much cheaper. It's easier to use, it's smoother, nicer ride. That's all I need to say. But if you even want to hit a little jump, do not get a trail bike, because that suspension will bottom out so quick. I've tested that. Forks will bottom out and it hurts. Bottom out hard. I don't think they have bump stops in them. So yeah, that is all the differences as far as I can think of between a race bike and a trail bike. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this video was able to help you guys make up your minds on what kind of bike you wanted to buy. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.